Right now, building an AI app feels like tapping into a high-speed data stream. You type a few lines to import an external library, make an API call, and almost instantly you have a working text generator. But that speed is deceptive. You get the output, so you feel like you control the system. In reality, you've just learned how to operate the steering wheel of a vehicle you don't know how to repair. This is the barrier of black box AI. You send a prompt in, you get a string of text back, and whatever happens in the middle is completely hidden by layers of abstraction. When that system inevitably fails on a specific edge case, you hit a wall. Because you don't control the underlying transformer architecture, you can't debug the attention mechanism, optimize the memory usage, or modify its context processing. Relying entirely on commercial wrappers turns developers into mere tool users. When your primary skill is asking a server for an answer, your professional value drops the moment those tools learn to ask the questions themselves. That's why Sebastian Rashka's GitHub repository, LLMs-from-scratch, is so vital. It is a complete step-by-step blueprint for stripping away those commercial wrappers. The curriculum operates on a strict rule of zero abstraction. It forces you to build the entire system without relying on pre-packaged external AI libraries. This diagram shows exactly how the repository dissolves that high-level API block to expose the bare metal underneath. Instead of importing a ready-made tokenizer, you write the precise PyTorch tensor operations required to convert raw text into a mathematical format the computer can actually compute. Next, you code the self-attention mechanisms line by line. You watch exactly how these tensor grids multiply against each other to create localized heat maps. This exact math is how the model learns to weigh the importance of one word against another to determine context. From there, you manually construct the training loops. This looping pathway feeds the output right back into the starting grids, adjusting the internal numbers with every pass until the generated text begins to make sense. Typing out these math operations yourself forces you to see exactly how data moves through the structured mathematical engines processing human language. There is a persistent assumption in the industry that touching bare metal AI development requires massive, inaccessible server farms, but this repository operates under strict optimization constraints. You can track every single parameter and run the complete training process on a standard consumer laptop. You start out by building a small, bare-bones educational model. Once that base structure is stable, the curriculum scales you up to handling professional-grade architectures. Here, we see exactly how that scaling works. You take the custom-built, empty model architecture you just coded, and you inject it with massive, pre-calculated weights from real-world models. Thousands of external data nodes lock into the empty intersections of your local framework. Once those weights are loaded, the network splits into two distinct deployment pathways. You can fine-tune the system to sort text into rigid categories, or you can train it to execute complex, multi-step instructions. This weight-loading methodology takes you out of the educational sandbox. It bridges the gap from understanding theory to deploying a custom-tuned engine that operates entirely offline. The repository also includes a series of advanced bonus blueprints. These take the foundational knowledge you just built and apply it directly to contemporary heavyweight models. This schematic lets us compare a basic GPT block on the left directly to the highly complex, multi-layered architecture of Llama 3.2 on the right. The repository provides the exact instructions required to manually construct this state-of-the-art meta-architecture from scratch. Using those exact same principles, you also gain the ability to engineer Alibaba's massive QN3 architectures right on your own machine. You go from sending prompts to an API to actually building, modifying, and controlling the engine itself. In an industry that is rapidly automating the easy tasks, developers who only know how to call libraries will eventually be replaced by the libraries themselves. True structural mastery of generative AI ensures you understand the machine from the ground up. Check the link in the description to access the GitHub repo and subscribe for more.